Welcome to Vibrant Numerals, where we explore and read the vibrations of the world around us and apply it to our everyday life. I'm Elizabeth, and I'm excited about this video because hip hop has been ablaze the last couple weeks around the dismissal of Drake's case against UMG. And I've talked about it in a couple of my lives, but I wanted to give a dedicated video to how these vibrations are telling the story between Tupac, hip hop, and Drake, and how they have contributed to what we've seen in the last couple weeks. So please make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and hit the notification bell so you can get all of my videos. So when we are thinking about vibrations, there are two main vibrations that we tend to work with. We work with the name. So for hip hop, its name resonates at a 72. We also work with the life path number, which for hip hop is 39. And so we have this hip hop space, this hip hop culture that is acting as the mirror that is reflecting its relationship between two artists, Tupac and Drake. And we are seeing this vibrational story play out in pretty much everything that's happened, not just in the last 2 weeks, but probably for the last 2 years. And so both of these artists have a relationship with hip hop. So while I love all of the names that we are giving Drake currently, for this discussion, we need to keep his name in relation, because again, it changes the vibration when we change the name. But what we're really going to focus on is his life path number, which is 58. And so when we are looking at a relationship between two people or two vibrational entities, so in this case, Drake's 58 life path number and hip hop's 39 life path number, what we do is we add those together. And so when we add together 58 plus 39, we get 97. No, I did not do it that fast in my head. We've talked about this so many times in my lives, I just remember. But we also have the artist Tupac, who unfortunately has been gone from this space physically for a long time, but his legacy is so big that he's still vibrationally in this space. And so we use his life path number when he was alive to represent that vibrational legacy. And so his life path number is 40. And so if we do the same thing that we did for Drake over here, we can see that Tupac's relationship with hip hop is 40 plus 39, which is 79. And so what we can see is that what we end up with are these mirror images, these two vibrations that are mirror images of each other. They're flipped. And so this can help explain some of Drake's obsession with Tupac and his relationship with hip hop, as well as why the Taylor Made Freestyle was like the big pivotal point of this dismissal of Drake's case against UMG. So, first, let me say that it was amazing to be part of and be able to witness. First, starting with Abso-fucking-lutely. I love that Abso was able to break the news to all of us, reactors and hip hop connoisseurs and hip hop lovers, about the dismissal of this case. Um, and so I will leave to Absa. Please go check out her channel. It's Absa freaking Lutely. Um, and she went through all of the legal paperwork, which she's been doing since the beginning of this case, even before this case was full blown, all of the documents that were being filed leading up to this case. I will leave that to her because she doesn't, there's nobody that does it better than her in talking about the legal part. I will also leave the discussion of the celebration within hip hop, and the importance of this dismissal of this case around freedom of speech and the freedom to create. I will leave that to the hip hop reactors who are doing it very well and making sure that we understand how important this is, but also getting to celebrate with them has been incredible. So, what I want to focus on is what these vibrations were telling us were going to happen before it even happened. So we have this mirror image where hip hop is acting as this mirror because it's the relationship with hip hop that is bringing these vibrations of Drake's 97 and Tupac's 79 together and showing them to be mirror images. So hip hop here is acting as a mirror. The first thing that we have to be aware of is that we see that here, this 9 over on the Tupac side is from the 9 in hip hop's life path number. So that means this first step in this relationship on this life path for hip hop is the same as Tupac's legacy step in hip hop. So we know that both hip hop and Tupac are coming out of this era of advocacy, of really having and using that creative space as a platform for social justice and social change, especially within the Black community, but also in communities that are suffering from poverty that do not have a voice or are not being heard. And this 9 is really pushing forth this purpose of ending the way things have been. And that's really what advocacy, social justice, advisement, and anthem work really is about. It's about bringing light to what is happening within the structures and the systems so that they can be brought to an end. And so Tupac is coming out of this space with the Black Panthers and his mother's inclusion in that around needing to do for self and change the structures and systems to do for self. Hip hop is also coming from that space where, yes, it's very much about having a good time and being together. But much of that initial hip hop that was coming out was around bringing a voice to the voiceless and ending the way things were done, both in a creative way, but also in what was happening systematically. And so it's really important to recognize that, because then Drake is coming into the hip hop space, and his first step in relation to hip hop is this 7. And his second step is the 9. This is where tension can build up and be created when you have these mirror image vibrations. Because while one side of the mirror is starting at like this 9, the other side has another step before it gets there. And so while hip hop and Tupac are trying to bring it into things, but also recognize what the end goal is. So you hear in interviews that Tupac did, and even in a lot of his music, and you see it coming from the hip hop space, that pure hip hop space, that they understand what the end is, that the end goal is to bring this voice to the voiceless and be able to end the things that are oppressing those same people. Drake does not get that. He cannot see it. He will not get it. And so it creates this tension, because while hip hop and Tupac are focusing on this end, Drake is focusing on taking action. So for Tupac, it was understanding the end, trying to bring an end, then using that to fuel the actions that were taken. Whereas Drake is jumping into taking actions without understanding what the end purpose is. That's why a lot of what Drake has done, it mimics, because it is a mirror image, but it mimics what Tupac was doing. It reflects what Tupac is doing, but it looks a little bit off because it's the action being taken before understanding the end. And so these actions are not in vibrational flow. So when you have this 7 here, the first thing is to understand, what is the vibrational flow? Where are we trying to go with our actions? Why are our actions important? What are we using our actions for? And this is where Drake got in trouble, because like for the Taylor Made Freestyle, the actions that were being taken in creating that piece was supposed to be about just winning this rap battle, not understanding that it was out of vibrational flow for what the bigger picture was and what was actually to come in the end of things. Same thing with taking action to bring the case against UMG, and really trying to focus in on Kendrick Lamar and Not Like Us. That action was taken outside of vibrational flow, and so then it didn't align with what the end needed to be. When the vibrational flow is there and the action is being taken, not forced, but taken in vibrational flow, then you get to the end, that 9 that you're really seeking. There was no integration of what were the lessons that were actually coming from Tupac in how he was interacting with hip hop. Because Tupac was using this 9 energy, understanding what the end purpose was, trying to bring an end to things, and then using that to take action. Where if Drake had really truly studied up and understood what was being conveyed from Tupac, but also from hip hop, he would have better understood how to be able to take those actions in vibrational flow. He could have been using the rap battle as a very much as a sport and been able to take actions in a different way. And he probably wouldn't have filed this lawsuit at all. So, because he was taking actions outside of vibrational flow, not only was it intention, like created tension with this vibration that he wanted to reflect and mimic so badly in Tupac and Tupac's relationship with hip hop, but it also caused this energy of this action to create an end that he didn't want. I mean, the rest of us are fine with it. We're having a good old time with it, but it wasn't the end that he intended. And it was because it was not in vibrational flow with hip hop itself. So hopefully this was interesting for you. Let's continue this discussion and see how we can look at these vibrations and use these vibrations to understand what we're seeing within the hip hop space. Hip hop is very much alive with very strong vibrations and energy as it begins to shift and shift identity. So we have a really good opportunity now to better understand how these vibrations are influencing everybody within the hip hop space and hip hop itself. So thanks for being here. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.